About Sports, and we're live the day after the Super Bowl, boys. Let's just get into it. How was it? What'd you think? Riri at halftime. Chiefs
Well,
coming back like they always do. Mahomes MVP of the world. Roland, start us off, dog.
kudos to us first for not calling in the day after. Hopefully everybody made it to work. It should be a day off first and foremost, the day after the Super Bowl. But shout out to us for showing up the day after for work. But my initial reaction, great Super Bowl. Thought the halftime show was good. We'll get into it more later. But yeah, I was happy with the Super Bowl. Points.
Yeah, man. Justin, take us. What's your thought process here, my
Yeah,
guy?
like I was, I just gotta, shine some light on Mahomes. A lot of people were counting him out. They were saying the Burrowhead. They were saying, it's over, and the boy's back, man. So 2 Super Bowls, 5 years. That's he's beating everybody else in the race. He already has a better resume than Aaron Rodgers. Just want to give the boy some flowers, man. Mahomes is the real deal.
Yep. Apologize, everybody that's watching. We were sharing on our social media, which is what we do. So anytime we go live, it's kind of just a random thing, but we always share it on our social media. So if you follow us on social media, turn on your notifications so that when we go live, it'll pop up and you can find out what we're talking about. And, you can go ahead and join us. What do you guys want to get into first, man? You want to get into, was it a collapse by the Eagles, Roland? Or was it Chiefs just being the Chiefs, being smarter, having the better coaching staff? Been there, done that. So was it a comeback by the Chiefs, or do you blame the Eagles and kind of collapsing with the 10-point lead?
Yeah, let's get into the game. I'm glad you brought that up because this game honestly had everything. The Eagles all year, they've been a great, first half team. They got out to a good lead. There's some fireworks in the beginning of the game. I wouldn't really call it a collapse. I'm just really looking towards the heroics of, Patrick Mahomes here in the second half and, making play after play, because the Eagles, in my opinion, for the most part, other than a couple of mishaps here and there on some penalties, they made big play after big play. They kept on putting it in Patrick Mahomes' hands and, forcing him to make a play, because honestly, every time the Eagles were down, they had a couple of 3rd and longs. Jalen Hurts, to me, his stock went up in this game because he was making play after play. Like some of those throws to Goddard, that throw on, I think it was like 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15. It ended up being, a review by the officials, which I think we should spend some time on talking about too. Some of those challenges and reviews and, how they impacted the game. But that was one of them that went the Eagles' way. So I wouldn't call it a collapse. It's just a great game. Patrick Mahomes injured his ankle at the end of the first half. Everybody heard Chad Henne warming up. But sure enough, Patrick Mahomes came in after that, threw for I think 3 touchdowns after he hurt his ankle. So clutch performance by Mahomes, MVP of the league, MVP of the Super Bowl. Like Justin said, nothing but flowers to give this evening to Patrick Mahomes. So saw he was at Disneyland today, rightfully so, doing his championship tour. So yeah, go Chiefs.
Justin, you were saying before we started, you go, if you're an Eagles fan and you see that Mahomes threw for under 200 yards in the Super Bowl, 182 with 3 tutties. And you said, man, if you're an Eagles fan, that's exactly what you want. That's a stat line that you want for Mahomes. So how did he get the job done throwing 182 yards only?
Are y'all even able to see me right now? I feel like I'm having some technical difficulties over here.
We can't see you, but we can hear you, my guy.
What's the name of that movie? The shit, man, with that Bacon guy? What's his last name? Shit, he's walking around killing people. He's invisible.
Kevin Bacon? Invisible Man?
Something like that. Yeah, that's the
Yeah, I guess I'm Invisible Man. But yeah, Mahomes, he ended up doing it with his feet a little more. We saw the 2 long runs. And he ended up hurting himself right before halftime. We didn't think that he was going to be as mobile. People were worried about Henne having to come in and do a drive again, but Mahomes toughed it out. I don't know what happened at halftime, what he took, but he was able to continue, man. And it wasn't all Mahomes. You can't just credit only Mahomes. Hey, that kid 32 on the defense picked it up, scooped and scored. The Kansas City defense, in my eyes, played better than the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and the Philadelphia Eagles defense was the one that was the most haunted defense, the ones that really had all the sacks, but they couldn't touch Mahomes last night. There zero pressures as far as sacks go, and Mahomes had pretty clean pockets. There were some times where he was hitting the floor. That one throw to Kelsey where he's about to hit the floor, and Kelsey's also diving to make the catch. Now, what a duo, what a tandem, man. They the way they extended the plays. And how about Kadarius Toney, written off by the Giants, traded off, and then he goes and he makes one of the biggest punt returns ever in the Super Bowl history. And then he has that whip route in the end zone, which just it wasn't as clean as Antonio Brown's whip route, but man, it was dirty. It was
a great play call
nice.
too. Great play call.
Yeah. Well, let me reset over here. I'm going to restart, and y'all can continue real quick.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the biggest takeaway for me is just, I mean, Andy Reid coached his ass off last night in the Super Bowl, man. Second half was a totally different story than the first half. I don't know if he was, I mean, I doubt it, right? But can you say, oh, maybe he was kind of playing possum, a little rope-a-dope the first half and say, hey, we're going to let everything out the second half? Because some of the plays that they were calling, Roland, some of those routes, some of those play designs, dude, back-to-back touchdowns, there wasn't a defender within like 10 yards of the damn, receivers. I mean, he was, sliding over, and they thought that he was going to go across the formation. The DB follows him, and then he just like Roland said, he just does that little whip route, and he goes back to the right pylon. Same thing on the other one. So it's just, to me, it was Andy Reid outcoached, the Philadelphia Eagles, and their crying coach during the national anthem. And I think that's what it was. It was, they've been there before. They've done that. They were down 10. Patrick Mahomes did his thing, and they said before the game that he said, it's not gonna be all me. I'm not gonna be Superman tonight. I need to have my other teammates get involved. Roland, talk to me about Isaiah Pacheco. 15 attempts, 76 yards, and a touchdown. This is a guy, a rookie, I believe, from Rutgers, didn't start this year. In the middle of the season, got a little momentum. By the end of the year, he was a touchdown machine. Then you have Jerick McKinnon, who was also there in the backfield. But the running game, I think, helped a lot to open, those some of the routes that Kelsey was running, dude. I mean, this dude's like wide open,
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, like you and Justin have highlighted, it was an all-around team effort for sure. And I was going to say, because you were talking about Andy Reid potentially, out coaching Sirianni and playing some rope-a-dope. And yeah, shout out Mondo, shout out Eddie in the comments.
For sure.
Rope-a-dope here in the second half. And, they definitely brought out some different play calling in the second half, because Toney, he really didn't play until the third or fourth quarter. He didn't really play until the end of the game. So they were definitely saving some of those play calls, some of those exotic play designs in the red zone, the score to Sky Moore, and then to Kadarius Toney wide open on beautiful play designs by Andy Reid and the offensive coordinator's name that's escaping me, but
Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. But Ron, to answer your question, Pacheco, he's been running hard all year. Definitely a steal in the draft for these guys. He's a guy out of Rutgers, North PA guy. They're getting a lot of love from Philadelphia, but every time he touches the ball, you feel like, he has a chance to bust off a big play. He's always good at hitting, his second read. It looks like, he might hit a wall, but he's good at bouncing it out and, finding some space. Definitely a talented runner. And then, like you said, when you mix in McKinnon, the receiving threat, and shout out to McKinnon. He could have ran in, and scored a touchdown there at the end of the game, but ended up
play.
Making the heads up play, like Justin said, and, taking the kneel going out of bounds and, extending the Chiefs' drive even more. So, like you guys said, all around team effort. The Chiefs, they came out to play, and we haven't talked about it yet, but are you guys disappointed that the referees decided to show up and make that defensive holding call there at the end of the game?
Justin, I'm gonna let you take that, because I have a strong take on that.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed. That was a foul. Even Bradbury comes out in an interview, says, what, I did hold. It happened earlier in the game with Schuster as well, where he didn't get the call. This time they called it. I've seen stuff throughout the year get called for a lot less. I think what really happens, though, as fans, we're just bitter because it does kind of determine the outcome of the game in the end. And the game was going smooth, high scoring. It's what you want from the Super Bowl. But that was a foul. He tugged him twice. He holds him and puts himself back into position. The jersey was pulled. He admitted it. How are you going to be like, come on, he didn't do it, when he's in the locker room admitting it? it sucks that it
Yeah.
determined the game, but that's on him. He's got who's going to get beat on the whip route again on the outside, and he said, you know what, I got to hold. It wasn't a egregious holding, but it was holding. We saw the jersey pull.
It was a clear hold.
I don't necessarily like it because, like I said, it's bittersweet because it ends up determining the game. But it was clear as day. It was holding.
My thing, the thing that I don't like, man, is like, why throw the flag so late? I hate when refs do that, and I see like fucking NBA refs do the same thing. Like a guy goes up for a layup, he gets hit, the ball hits the rim, then it goes out, and then you hear the whistle. You know, it's like that play, the ball was thrown over his head, the ball lands in the end zone, and then you see the flag come in. It's like, why don't they throw the damn flag when they see the call? That's what I didn't like. Another thing is that they said that it was on the initial hold. Can't you hold within 1 yard of the scrimmage line, or like
I don't think you can hold.
Like they don't call
football.
illegal
you can
contact.
You can check the guy at 5 yards within 5 yards, but you can't be holding him.
But I don't think it was a hold like that. It's just in that spot. We can get into the Greg Olsen story after this because it kind of segues into it. Greg Olsen was kind of going at it with Mike Ferreira there, and he's like, Mike, come on, this type of game, biggest game in the world at this point, last drive under 2 minutes. I mean,
you gotta call it.
That's rowdy, bro.
But think about it from the other end. If you're the Chiefs and now you've held Schuster and he couldn't make the play, I got overthrown because the kid's getting held. If he's not held, that ball's not that far overthrown. What about then? You just want to F that side of the team and just for the Eagles? I mean, that doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, you just play by the rules. It's on you when you don't. I hate that it decided the game in the end. It allowed them to kick the field goal and go up, but that's what it is.
Hey, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for being with us. Wally, thank you for being with us right now. Eddie, Mando, what's up, boys? Thanks, man. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Go ahead.
I had enough of me. He cut me off. He was like,
"No, I didn't cut you off. I just wanted to shout out to the boys that are in the chat."
Yeah, but I was
appreciate
it. And Ron was like, "Enough of that. I don't want to hear it. I am with that. Eagles should have win." That's what Ron was about.
That was not it.
It sucks that like Justin said, sucks that the call determined the outcome of the game partially, but it never goes down to one play, A, and B. If it's a hold, it's a hold. There's been less called. There's been calls not made that benefits teams like the Rams with the defensive pass interference against the Saints. They got to the Super Bowl on a no call. You gotta throw the flag. You have to. If there's a foul on the play, no matter how small it is, in that situation, especially using your argument against you or using the people's argument against them. Especially in that moment, you got to make the call.
Yeah,
so
because
kudos to the ref for having the fortitude to making that call. I got to give him props.
Like Wally here saying, don't matter what time of the game, holding is a holding. That's a true coach statement right there. Just because Wally's a coach, he's making those kind of statements. But I guess to your guys' point,
Wally's fair.
I guess to you guys' point, we can agree because say they don't call it, they go for the field goal, they miss it. Then they're gonna go back, and Greg Olsen's gonna be like, "Clearly, there was a grab here. The Chiefs should have had a first down, and blah blah blah." So, I get it. The right call was made. I just now with the whole what was it, guys? Remind me. It was the AFC Championship game where the ref's son bet on the game, and then he was saying something like, "Oh, I didn't know my son took the Chiefs for I don't know how many thousands of dollars or whatever." I'm just saying it looked a little sus. Looked a little sus.
And
Eddie, that wouldn't be the first time that sus things happen with referees. So
all the time.
You might have a case there. I'm not gonna deny you there.
Justin and I were on the Chiefs. We're not doing any defending here, Eddie.
Bro, why is Eddie so much on the Chiefs right now? Come on, man. The number one defense gave up 31 points.
He said it earlier. The Eagles, right. I'm not saying it was a cakewalk and they're a fake team. I think their roster, for what it's worth, and I said it when they were playing against the 49ers, the two best rosters in football. They are top to bottom one of the best teams. But like Eddie was saying earlier in the comments, had a complete cakewalk to the Super Bowl. Complete cakewalk. So well documented, and
Daniel Jones and fourth string Purdy backup. So they had
even before that, you can look to the regular season too.
And I think their defense got exposed a little bit last night. With the way that was handled. I mean, that D-line didn't really show what they were supposed to show, and the corners, since the D-line's not getting the pressure, there was no pressure sacks or anything like that. The corners weren't able to do anything either, and Bradbury was on his wheels the whole night. So I think that showed out as well. What about Jalen,
What-
man?
I was
Jalen
just
balled
gonna
out.
say
Let's show some shine on Jalen. He made me a
Yeah.
believer last night. Before the season, I was very critical of his talent, his arm talent. I knew he could run the ball. I knew he was killer at the quarterback draw, killer at the 1 yard, getting the 1 yard with the quarterback sneak. But I never thought I would see this much of an improvement from year 2 to year 3. It was almost Josh Allen like that from that year 2 to year 3 with how much better he got accuracy wise. And now last night he had the better deep balls, 2 45-yarders, one to Devontae, one to AJ Brown for a touchdown. Jalen's the real deal, man. He has really turned me around. I gotta say I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Jalen. The kid's good.
We're not gonna if Ben ain't on the podcast, we ain't bringing up Josh Allen. All right, we ain't bringing up. That
I just want to say
right
because
there.
Josh Allen had those accuracy issues.
Come on, dog.
Year 2, year 1, and then he stepped up. Now he's on a decline. I've seen Josh Allen decline this year. But Jalen stepped up big time, man.
You know what my argument's going to be to Ben? How many times has Josh Allen gone on the Super Bowl? How many times has Jalen Hurts gone on the Super Bowl? That's what I'm going to say. That's my argument right there. Anyway, real quick. So he had 304 yards passing with a touchdown pass, obviously, to AJ Brown. And that was more of just kind of a chunk it up there. And my guy's bigger than your guy. AJ Brown had a hell of a catch there. Caught it with, it was all hands catch. But let's get to the rushing aspect. 70 yards rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns with the 2-point conversion. Now, I'm going to ask you guys this. He balled out first half, rushing, all that stuff. In the second half, was it more the Eagles not letting him cook, or was it the Chiefs saying, let's make some adjustments at halftime? We're not going to let him run wild on us anymore.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean,
okay.
The game flow changed a little bit too, and I wouldn't say he completely slowed down. I need to look at the stats, but I can't say anything bad about Jalen Hurts' performance last night. He's one of the highest rated quarterbacks in Super Bowl history. That performance last night, really can't look at him for the loss. And, kudos to the Eagles too. I mean, he did take a big jump from year 2 to year 3, but they also did a good job of surrounding him with some good talent and getting him AJ Brown, a true number 1. I mean, last year he was chunking up long ball, and because I bet on the Eagles a lot last year, he was chunking up long balls to Quez Watkins and Hurd, the former quarterback from the University of Houston. Shout out to him for even being in the spot that he was, not taking anything away. But he's not a guy you should be targeting on a weekly basis, and yet that's who Jalen Hurts was throwing to every week. So they got him some weapons, got him the former Heisman winner Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, and he looked every bit the
tight end too last night looked good too.
Yeah, tight end Goddard was a beast last night. Made play after play. Their running backs, they got to say, man, the Eagles are stacked. Jalen Hurts is their guy. And I think, the general manager has already said that he has nothing left to prove. So, glad you brought up Jalen Hurts because we should shine some light on him.
Could we say that they're, I can't even think of the word right now, but a crazy, funky fumble away from being Super Bowl champs? I mean, all he was doing was moving the ball from his left hand to his right hand. 32 comes up for the Chiefs. The ball's bouncing. How many times do we see a ball bounce right off the turf? And we'll get to the turf later. How many times do we see the ball bounce right off the turf into a guy's lap and just take it in? There's always some kind of scramble. Somebody dives on it. Another guy
comes. The offense ends up with it again, sort of thing.
Yes, man.
Just gets pushed back a few. I mean, that was just a perfect scoop and score. You can get it. I mean, normally you get these defensive guys try to make a play, get too aggressive, and they end up not coming back with the ball. That ball riding back into the breadbasket. He was able to scoop and take it all the way back, man. That was just I don't know, man. I can't blame Hurts. The switching of the hands. He was running well all night. I can't put that on Hurts. I mean, one mistake, he ends up getting the ball back. The next drive, they go quarterback draw, ride it back to the board again, and he ends up being pretty successful with it. It's just a misfortune, and it happens. And the Chiefs, the difference was that defense capitalized when they had their chance.
Yeah, and got a big special teams play too from Tony. That game last night just had everything. Honestly, I mean, offense,
awesome part.
defensive plays.
And then
it was a good night for props. If you took offensive props on these guys,
if you took purple Gatorade at plus 1,200, I mean, what the hell?
You guys were talking about the defensive touchdown. I'm sure for there to be a defensive touchdown was pretty juicy pregame. So. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff about the Super Bowl. But
another takeaway for me was just when the Chiefs came out of halftime, they had the ball. They go down and they score right away. And you're like, shit, man, here we go. They're down 3. And then boom, they score again. And then the Eagles got the ball and you felt like they were going for it all night on fourth down, 4th and 2,
Yeah.
4th and 3, 4th and 1. And then they kicked the field goal there. I mean, I know you kind of had to kick the field goal to go up 6, but if you're the coach, do you look back and say, damn, I've been going for it all night and I kicked the field goal to only go up 6? You know, they get that first down, they get a touchdown, they're up 10 instead of only being up 6. So do you think he should have gone for it again, or was it cool? Was it safe in that situation at that point of the game to say, let me kick the field goal and go up 6 instead of? I don't remember what it was though. Was it like 4th and 3, maybe 4th and 4? I really don't remember. I know it was less than 4th and 5.
I just don't think there was mistakes by the coaching on either end, really.
Okay.
I think you got there to 35-35 at the end of the game. You gave yourself a chance to be tied. At the end of the day, Mahomes made some plays with the ball left, had the ball last, and made some with his legs as well, besides not just his arm, and that was the end of it. They went tit for tat all night. Just the one mistake by Jalen, and
Tit for tat.
I mean, it was a good game, man. It had everything. It had everything.
I mean,
you could ask
that's what Wally put here. He put Mahomes' big run in the last possession. Also, his legs always end up making huge plays, and for being like, oh, my leg, and then he actually did hurt it. I mean, they landed on that right foot. I mean it twisted pretty good. I don't know if you guys want to just not end it with this, but is dude that guy? Is Patrick Mahomes him?
I think the resume already shows it's higher than Rodgers at this point. 5 straight AFC champs, 2 Super Bowls within 5 years. Bro, his name is Himothy. I mean, that's what it is.
He's that guy. He's on pace to, I wouldn't say he's on pace to beat Brady, but he is, this next generation, he's the guy that's carrying the torch. We talked about it, when we did our AFC West breakdown. There was all these other things going on in that division this year, including them losing Tyreek Hill. That's right. There's just so much going on. Everyone was looking away from the Chiefs. Everyone was saying, hey, this is a year the Chiefs, they're going to go down. They just lost, 30% of their receiving offense. Tyreek Hill's not there. What's Mahomes going to do with Juju, MVS, and, all he has is Kelsey, right? So everybody was looking away from these guys partially, and I heard a lot of people talking about it on the radio. They got that Patriots fatigue, right? They got that Mahomes fatigue, that Chiefs fatigue already. They're already tired of hearing about Mahomes and the Chiefs. So what do people do? They look for the guys to knock them off, right? But guess what, guys? Probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen against 15. If 15's lining up on the other side, good chance you're going to lose. So you might as well. Hey, I got my Mahomes jersey in the mail. It's coming in, so might as well. I'm kidding.
Damn. I didn't know that we have Marky Garza on the show, bro.
I'm kidding. I'm not going that far. But,
all your signs on the back, they're just gonna take off all the cowboy stuff, and like the next podcast is gonna be like all red and white.
Yeah, I got some space up here, in my home jersey somewhere. So we'll see.
Speaking of Mr. Kelsey, I'll lead us into this, man, because Travis Kelsey was cool, great athlete, up there with Gronk, up there with Gronk, GOAT tight ends. But dude, I'm getting tired of the guy. I mean, he's like
fatigue, Ron. You got the Kelsey fatigue.
No, he's like when like Suge Knight was at the Source Awards and he's just like, you tired of your producer coming out in all the videos? He's like, come over here to death row. That's like, obviously talking about Puff. That's like Kelsey to me. It's like they're like talking to Patrick Mahomes and he's like, yeah, and yeah. It's like, dude, get out of the way. Like, go blow your nose. Like, like
that booger
I'm just kind of tired of the Travis Kelsey stuff, and he balled out and all that. But it's like, dude, you're trying like a little too much to be relevant in like the social media world. And I know nowadays it's all about clout and all that. But dude, you're Travis Kelsey. You're a two-time Super Bowl champion, one of the greatest tight ends ever. And you're over here like, I feel like chasing clout, and I do you guys feel the same, or am I just kind of being a hater right now?
I think you're just bitter right now. I think you're fatigued from the Chiefs winning and it's not Burrow. And I've been there before, bro, because I'm not an Alabama guy and I have to suffer through those years of Alabama. So I know exactly what you're feeling. It's not something that's not new to me or known to me. But nah, man, you know what? And I've even turned around on Jackson Mahomes. I say, let the kid record his little videos. Who gives a
Oh,
flying
you
F,
did
bro?
not go.
I don't care anymore. It's like that dude's just doing him. Like, why? He's not bothering
Roland, tell him
nobody. Let him
something,
do his little
Roland.
videos, man. I'm over it all. You know, last night Mahomes has won me over. I believe in the guy.
Oh, another one.
That's it. That's it. And,
You know,
and,
it's just-
and Mahomes has enough clout to extend to his little bro. Let him TikTok.
You know,
let him do his TikTok, man. They all got to get their checks. They all got to get their bags. Let him get his bag, bro.
Mahomes is like that kid, you know, when you were a kid growing up that your parents are like, why can't you be more like him, right? We're the parents telling Dak, why can't you be more like that guy? Why can't you just be more like Mahomes? Just please. That's where Justin and I are at right now.
That's exactly what it is.
Dude, I never thought I'd say this, but I might need Ben on this show. Hey, shout out to Ben. Shout out to our other homie. He's working right now. He's on his way home. He actually might be watching. Ben, if you're watching, get in the comments and back me up because we have some diehard
Cool,
Cowboy
drinking the juice over here.
Dak jersey wearing guys over here who are just gonna rip the Dak jersey off, and Roland's gonna be wearing the Mahomes, and Justin's gonna have on the Kelsey jersey, and it's just gonna be a Chiefs party here. But other than that, guys, I mean, other than the performances on the field, it was a hell of a Super Bowl. I think they said it was one of the highest rated Super Bowls. Super Bowl 57 ratings are huge, and Greg Olsen delivered. He had some pretty good moments as well. But as far as ratings overall, I think people were getting into the Super Bowl. Why do you think? Was it more like how you guys said when it was always like the Warriors and the Cavs, and you're like, the Chiefs are always there now? I kind of heard, I don't know if it was me, but they were getting a lot of boos, weren't they? Or was it that there was more Philly fans there?
I think the Philly fans, they travel well, they travel loud. So, you know, you're always going to hear them. I think that they're probably a good portion of the boos that you'd be hearing. But, you know, shout out everybody again in the comments. If you guys are here, hit us up with a like. Much appreciated. Hit the like button. But, you know, for the Super Bowl, you know, there's a couple of things at hand. You know, you had a couple of people saying, hey, we're going to the Rihanna concert. There's just a football game going on, you know, in the middle of it, right? You know, we're here for the Rihanna concert. You have that aspect of it. I'm sure that brought in a couple of viewers, although I heard it was like the third most watched halftime show. I don't know how they figure that out, but anyways, and it was a good game. You know, two best teams in the league, probably, you know, once you remove the 49ers.
1 versus 1.
The Chiefs were probably the best team all year in the AFC. It's just that, you know, we heard all off season about this fraudulent team in the Northeast part of the United States. So we heard about that all year.
Something about them Chiefs, being a mafia, right?
Yeah,
Rolling or something like that. I don't know.
The Chiefs were that team for the AFC most of the year. So that was another aspect of it. And then the betting too. The betting is illegal in a bunch of states now. So I'm sure
Arizona's legal too. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Gabe, can you go a little bit more into detail on this on your Super Bowl recap here? Jalen Hurts and the Eagles come back down to earth.
Gabe's diehard Dallas Cowboys, so he's celebrating just off of the Eagles' loss. And I know Jalen's his guy. You know, Gabe's an Alabama fan, but he doesn't care about Jalen when it comes to
Alabama can't claim Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, what about that?
Dude, what about that crazy stat that Diego put up today? Shout out to our boy Diego and everybody in the comments, man. Mondo, what's
up? Is it the white jersey stat? Which one is it?
No. Making look. First of all, look at Mondo's comment. Sean Payton and the Broncos about to give that boy a run for his money. Oh my God,
man! Sean Payton had. I love Mondo, man, but Sean Payton had a first row seat to seeing what he's gonna have to face every year, and that's got to be hard to see that because you know that as long as Mahomes is there. You're not doing it. You're not doing it with the Broncos. He's going to do good with the Broncos, but you're not beating them. I just don't see it.
So the stat I was talking about, and we can put Eddie's comment on it, Jalen Hurts and his noodle arm. Well, Jalen
you know what he's referring to, right?
The last throw.
The last throw, or the defense could even pick it off. It was so underthrown, man.
You know what? Was fucking worse than the Dak to
that's what I'm saying. Like at least we had a stupid play with Ezekiel at center. At least they didn't even have a play. Their job was like noodle arm Jalen. And you know what? I counted the yardage. That was like a 45-yard throw that Jalen threw out there, which is his longest throw in the game anyway. So that's that deep ball that Jalen's throwing is probably the longest he can throw it.
Because his shoulder's compromised probably. So
well, the crazy stat that I'm talking about, and shout out to everybody watching, man. We're up to double-digit viewers.
That's a great movie, by the way.
Share, please, and like, please, guys, please like.
Yeah, man. No, was that he's the only Alabama player to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl? out of all the Alabama players,
Oklahoma
like
player, right?
ever. Isn't that wild? I mean, you would think that. I mean, the Alabama is an NFL factory over there, and to be the only player to score a touchdown from Alabama is crazy to me.
This is funny. My dad's referencing my punt, pass, and kick years over here, saying I could throw further because I won a punt, pass, and kick competition when I was younger. That's pretty funny.
Was it back when? I don't want to get into it. I'll save it. I'll save it.
Yeah, you got to be careful there.
Yeah.
Let's just be appropriate. But yeah, what I mean, the
What
Rihanna concert. Let's get into that a little bit more. I want some grades. Roland, what's the grade? What's the official grade for that?
Look,
your music guy. Give us your music opinion.
It's hard because you got to look at it from two sides. Or actually, there's three aspects to this. The music. I mean, it's Rihanna, and the music was amazing. Great set list.
Tracks for days.
I love the music that she chose. Nothing but hits, nothing but number one. She brought it out. Nothing less to be expected from Rihanna. So I got to give her credit there. The performance itself, I'm not one to judge because I can't dance or anything, but we've seen other people go, dance a lot more. She was pregnant, so shout out to her, for doing that up there.
Is that confirmed? I don't want to assume,
Shout out A$AP Rocky. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
She's pregnant, doing her thing, so shout out to her for that. But I also heard she was lip singing. Also, me again, I can't sing, so I can't judge her, but she was lip singing. So all of that stuff considered, performance wise, I gotta give her like the halftime show, like a 6.5, 7. I think that's fair. It wasn't crap. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody that's in the comments, look who showed up. There he is, Mr. Ben.
I was gonna put Ben back in place because what did I do for the first half of this podcast? But give Jalen Hurts a bunch of praise. But now I'm hating all of a sudden. I mean, I guess he's late to the party and probably just saw this. Ben, you're a little late. I was giving praise. I was giving flowers out tonight.
Everybody in the comments, drop 1 through 10. What do you rate Rihanna's performance? I think Roland had a 6.5, 7. Was that yours? Roland?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, fair. Justin, what do you got? 1 to 10. Your girl, Riri.
Yeah, I'm a big Rihanna fan. I'm gonna have to take a whole point off because Disturbia is one of my favorite songs from her. She didn't even bring that out. I'm glad she came with Umbrella. You got to have the hits. You got to bring out the best of the best. There was a point last night when she's doing all of the lights where I'm thinking, no way, man, this can't happen. Are we about to see freaking Kanye come out, man? Because that would be wild, bro.
I was waiting for a cameo,
Super Bowl
dog.
shows, they always have someone else come in, and I thought, oh, shoot, man, we're about to see some controversial stuff. Kanye's coming out. Then they're doing Run This Town. Jay's at the Super Bowl. He's taking pics with his daughter. Maybe he comes out. This is good. That's lit. I love that. Last year we had all of LA, Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all of them guys come out. I thought she's got to bring somebody out. So I'm going to take a point off for that too. And that leaves me at 8. 8 is my starting point. Now, I'd like the choreography. She didn't have it all because she was pregnant. I'm going to take a half point of that away, and we're going to stay at 7.5. Pretty overall good performance. I enjoyed it.
Not knocking the lip singing?
I'm not knocking lip singing. I mean, she's moving around, and she brought someone with her, right? A guest, supposedly. Her baby's her guest. That's badass, right? When she's doing interviews all week saying, yeah, I might bring someone with me. I'm bringing someone with me. Well, the announcement came out right away. She did the whole belly rub, so that's cool. 7.5. I'm giving her 7.5. Brought out
Drake too for.
That's what I was waiting for.
That's what I wanted, but I mean, we couldn't get it.
Yeah, because they went to different. They went to a different camera angle, and then they kind of slowed it down, and they panned away. So I'm like, oh, they're panning away because this, Drake's gonna come out, and they don't, want to see him running on the field or something, or coming out of somewhere. I'm not gonna be as generous as you guys, dog.
Oh,
this is the Super Bowl. I was waiting for to come out and knock her out.
Oh God.
I'm not gonna be as generous as you guys. We're talking 1 Super Bowl, biggest show of the whole year. All right. 2, it's a legend in the game, Rihanna, and you guys are still giving her more than a 6. I'm going to keep it short. It's Riri. You expect huge things. I get she was pregnant, but as far as the whole production of it, I mean, you had, the stages, which was crazy. I didn't feel like there was a lot of production value in it. It was just a lot of choreography, one big strip of stage and those platforms. I thought, hey, Rihanna's pregnant. let's do all this other shit to make it, great looking and make everybody have fun. And it was great. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, but I'm gonna have to rate it. I'll give it a 6.5. I can't get to the sevens, man. I can't get to the sevens.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was lip singing. I know that they sing over tracks. So there was probably a track playing,
reference
and then
track
she was,
playing in the background.
yeah, and then she was singing, and I'm sure she was out of breath a little bit. Hey, and didn't that platform look kind of like crazy? Like I was like, dude, she was pretty fucking high.
Yeah,
she was. I mean, she was strapped in, but kind of at the very end, you saw the look on her face, and it's like, all right, get me the hell off from here because I'm tripping.
But so I gotta ask you, Roland, you said it wasn't your top performances of halftime. What's number one for you? What is your number one performance?
Number one, Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Bro.
Janet Jackson? I know you're halfway joking, but you could be serious. I don't know if you're a JT fan or not. So are you halfway serious, or is that a complete joke here?
It's a complete joke.
Honestly, I don't think it matters.
I thought maybe he was halfway JT serious. So
recent memory, honestly, recent memory. Lady Gaga. I thought like you can't compare the two. I think like Lady Gaga went hard on her performance, like all out. The Weeknd. I know people were hating on it, but
I loved it. The whole story up to it.
Hard on his performance, right? Yes. Like you can, and again, this is part of Rihanna. Like this is like her vibe, right? Like she's too cool for the party, like she's the cool girl at school. So, maybe like her whole vibe was like, I'm going to put forth as least effort, and I'm Rihanna, but the music's going to speak for itself. But then you look at what other people have done and it pales in comparison when you look at it that way, but still a good performance.
I think that if they knew she was pregnant and wasn't going to be able to perform to her full potential, that they should have brought out other guests. They should have brought out other stars, especially a lot of her hits having big features on them. But regardless of it, the halftime show in this Super Bowl, I think, at least didn't outweigh the game, because there's been Super Bowls before where the game is trash and you're like, well, fuck, at least the halftime
Patriots
show was
Rams.
good. 9-3 games. I remember the Peyton Manning, Cam Newton game where it was like 6-9-3 or something like that. I don't think it was a touchdown scored in the game, maybe to the very end. DeMarcus Ware had the big play was like the DeMarcus Ware fumble recovery. I don't know what the hell it was. But overall, man, good for the NFL, good for the fans. Before we leave, though, can we talk about that $800,000?
No, you got to give your number one halftime show. I have to hear from you. What's your number one?
I mean, I really can't remember. I'm hungover for most of the Super Bowls, Justin. I'm not gonna lie there. But being the big 50 Cent fan, I think last year's was really, really cool. I mean, how do you not like Dre and 50 and the way 50 just came down? Doing in
the club video
upside down crunch, with the fucking headband and the wife beater. I mean, solid, man, solid. The Kendrick one was good to me. It was just a little bit too much. And I know I said I wanted more from Rihanna, but I think that was a little bit too much. The Weeknd one was really, really cool. I kind of like it when they mix the genres, though. I think one year the guitar player from Guns N' Roses had come out there too. But shout out to everybody in the comments also, man. Edgar Diaz, Dick Fitty,
he was struggling on those pull-ups.
He was, man. He was. Hey, shout out to everybody in the comments again, man. This is a really good show. We've been doing more of a freestyle, guys, kind of just getting away from the slides, and the numbers. A little bit more of a freestyle so we can incorporate more of the chat zone, and you guys have totally answered and responded. We appreciate everybody that's with us and that's liking and that's sharing. I know you guys are liking. Throw up the hearts as well. If you guys kind of show us some love, I guess that you could say, and we will show love back. You want to get into the field a little bit here before we go, guys? I mean, what was the story there? Because players were fucking slipping and sliding everywhere, dog.
Well, I think Roland knows a little more
cleats,
about the field, Roland. I think you had posted in our chat group earlier. It was like $800K NFL all in invested into that field.
So I don't know the real reason why they were slipping all over the place. Like it could have been because of the paint, because of the spray paint throughout the field. But the whole story with the field is they've been growing this field for like 2 years at some offsite place, and they brought it to the field, to the site, whatever, blah blah blah. But it cost $800,000. It was developed by this guy who's just his whole life has been dedicated to groundskeeping for professional teams. Some 94-year-old guy called the Sod Father.
That's an awesome name.
It's his name. Awesome name. But the field, from what I saw, what people were talking about, complete trash. They probably should. I don't know. I don't know what the solution was, but
Yeah.
$800,000
So
and
so these guys that engineered the grass,
Yeah.
because this is an engineered grass, it's not natural. Oklahoma State scientists, they went out and they did this over 2 years to have this field ready. So the NFL had 2 years to get this field ready, and it was a failure, man. I mean, lucky we didn't see any injuries from the slippages, but it stopped some plays. There was a play by McKinnon where he gets up right back up and he's down again because of the slip. It wasn't the greatest playing field, something you expect for the Super Bowl, but it is what it is. It affected both teams, so no one can cling on to that as an excuse, saying, "Hey, this is why we lost." I know we're hearing that from one side a lot tonight, or last week or whatever
chill.
yesterday. But
you got to bring back that AstroTurf.
Before I get to the betting lines, real quick, can we talk about Mr. Mondo was in the show earlier. He is a Denver Broncos fan, and this player was on his team. Mr. Melvin Gordon did not play a down for the Chiefs, but won Super Bowl 50. We saw him on social media, cigar in his mouth, Joey B style, holding up the Lombardi trophy like he had just scored the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl. Shout out to Melvin Gordon, boys. Are we giving Melvin Gordon some flowers for sticking around in the league? I mean, what was he, guys?
I think
Like,
there's a better
like
guy
a
to give
practice
flowers
squad
to,
guy?
Ron. There's a way better guy to bring up to give flowers to. Chad Henne, retired last night, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
Nice.
I think that dude needs some flowers over Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, I got to give Melvin Gordon his props. So he's paid his dues in the league. He's been around a long time. He's played with some pretty bad quarterbacks. He had to endure Russell Wilson for a good part of this season. So, having to do that, giving him a little prize and winning the Super Bowl, couple $150,000 bonus or something like that they got for winning it. So
damn.
Yeah, shout out to Melvin Gordon. Give him some props. And Chad Henne. He almost got his moment to shine in the Super Bowl.
He
almost did. Right after that halftime, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna suit up, start warming up this arm."
And they got that Val Kilmer treatment.
Dude, let's not forget that 92-yard touchdown drive that he had against the Bengals. Was it?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
That's
without that drive, without that drive, they don't get to the Super Bowl. I mean, they only won by 3 points there at the end. As far as betting, we do talk about a little bit here. On the spread, 83% of the public was on Philly -1. 61% was on Philly money line, and actually 57% were on the unders. Did you guys know that it was going to be an overs game right away? Did you expect a lot of points with the high explosive offenses? And then what about the spread and the money line? Where were you guys before the game? Just some quick takes there.
I was surprised to see the Eagles, with the numbers that you read off, taking all that money and being the public side. I expected the Chiefs to catch more money. As the week went on and more people got to Vegas and places to place their bets. But as far as like pregame where I was on the Chiefs, and I did expect some points just because excuse my dogs, but if they were going to if they were going
put
to
him on the show,
if they were going to win the game, it was going to be with a lot of points. And right off the bat, it was a touchdown, and no looking back.
Yeah, Ron, so what you're telling me is that Travis Kelce, what he said was correct. Nobody believed in the Kansas City Chiefs to win Super Bowl. So it sounds like he has some legitimacy in what he was saying there. That's what it sounds like to me.
You just want me to start this podcast war, social media war with Travis Kelce? Guys, they were the favorites. They were the favorites the whole playoffs, weren't they? Like every show,
number one seed.
Yeah, I mean Justin, they were the number one seed, so I don't know why he's saying nobody put respect on their name. Every show that we did this postseason, from the wild card round to the divisional to the championship, we would do Super Bowl odds at the end of the show, and they always had the shortest odds. So I don't know where this guy comes out saying nobody thought of us and nobody this and that. Like, that was a storyline maybe at the beginning of the year, I mean, after week 1, week 2, it's just like, okay, we had 17 weeks and they were always there. He's acting like, they were like the 30th, in the league as far as, getting to the Super Bowl and, all this stuff and all these odds. And dude, you have the reigning, super MVP, and your team is stacked regardless of, who you lost. It was just, yes, props to them, but I'm
So
done with Travis Kelsey, dog.
so
This guy's
is
like
it
this guy's like he's gonna go like get his own reality show. That's what he wants to be. I think he
oh, he's
wants to
gonna
be.
get. He's already had it, right? I think he's
I mean,
had
he
one.
wants to be in TikToks with Patrick Mahomes' brother. This guy wants like Logan Paul, prime, deal. I mean, if anybody has bitten
He's setting himself up for after
Gronk
the
more,
game.
it's Travis Kelsey. It's like everything that Gronk is, Patrick Kelsey wants to be that guy. It's like, dude, be your own dude. Like,
So
stop
is this
trying to act.
delusion, Ron, by Travis Kelsey, or is this buying into the message from the head coach? Because we also heard a Georgia football player say the same things after winning the national title, saying no one thought we could win. They all counted us out when they were favored all this year long, just like the Chiefs were. So are these guys just buying into these coaches, or is this just delusional talk at the end of the game when you win? What is it? When do you count this up to?
The great ones find a way to get motivated. That's all I got to say. The great ones find a way to, get that fire lit under them, week in and week out, year after year. And, the Chiefs, for a team that's, constantly at the top, they got to, find ways. Like Edgar talking about the Cincinnati mayor. I'm sure they got super pissed having to hear weeks and weeks about Burrowhead this, Burrowhead that. Burrow's the mayor of Kansas City. Burrow owns Mahomes. They take that was real personal. I guarantee that was really what they were talking about with all that doubt. Especially guys like Eli Apple running their mouths to people like Kelsey. It's like, I know what you're talking about, Ron, but Kelsey, for me, he's a made man in this league. He is that guy. He's wearing that 87 like Gronk did. We're looking at Gronk and Brady 2.0 or the advanced version a little bit, with the way that the game is going now. And I'm just glad that we've got to watch this tandem, because Kelsey, for all intents and purposes, you think he's the tight end. Oh, we can lock him up, but the guy finds a way to get open. I mean, Mahomes throws him some perfect passes and throws him open at times, but the guy's a workhorse. And the great ones, to answer your question, sorry for going off on a tangent, but
that's what I wanted to hear.
The great ones find a way to motivate themselves. You hear stories about Michael Jordan. He would make up stories about the random guy that he was going to face the next day, and
dude,
then
that's awesome, Jordan. It's that Kobe factor, right?
Yeah,
me versus everyone. I got to kill everyone.
Jordan, Kobe, Brady, Gronk. Did you see them after the game? Like, yeah, like this is us and this is blah blah blah. And look at me.
Yeah,
look
Gronk,
at me.
yeah, Gronk, definitely.
Like that's my thing. It's like, dude, you're already great. Like, chill out. Like cussing and calling out the mayor and like all this stuff. It's like, man, like relax. You didn't see and then I think even Patrick Mahomes is kind of like, all right, dog, all right, like, I got this. Chill. But
hey,
I don't know. That's just
Ron,
that's just me. That's just my personal opinion.
Don't criticize anybody celebrating, because you know how we're gonna be next year when the Cowboys are winning the Super Bowl. You already know.
Yeah, so, it'll get crazy if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. I'll tell you what, there will be no day after pod for me if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. I might just be super drunk and passed out at that point where I can't even function. But last thing I want to talk about Super Bowl wise, it's one of the biggest things in the Super Bowl when you're watching the Super Bowl, the commercials. Guys, there was maybe 2 commercials that were memorable for me last night. They really dropped the ball in these commercials. I'm going to give you the 2 that I really enjoyed. Number 1, the dog food commercial. I don't know if you saw that one where the pup's growing old with the owner, and that one really hit home. And the second one that really kind of got me in some trouble because they thought I was changing the channel. That Tubi commercial where it looked like the channel was changing. Everyone starts looking at me, yelling at me like I'm changing the channel during the game. I'm like, yo, this ain't me. This is the Tubi one. The only reason it's memorable is because of that. What y'all think of these commercials? I mean, I look forward to them every year. I feel like they dropped the ball.
I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Feel bad for the companies that spent, over 6 figures for those commercial spots. You hear like a 30-second ad, costs, over like $5 or $6 million. But to Justin's point, and to double up on the Tubi commercial, that was the only one that I remembered, really, because I was chilling watching the game. I really wasn't paying attention to the commercials at all until that point. I was like, what the heck? I was like, I don't remember sitting on the commercial because, I'm the guilty party here. I'm usually the one that'll accidentally press the button on the remote and change the channel when everyone's watching it. So I thought something was going on there. But yeah, that was a good commercial.
Shit, the Dre Gonzalez Law Firm. How did you guys not like that one? That was the best commercial, man. Local guy, Jay Gonzalez Law Firm, 007.
I already forgot it happened. I forgot it happened. He's a Mission guy, too.
No, I'm a big Will Ferrell guy, so the way they incorporate, and I'm a big Netflix guy too. So the way they incorporated Will Ferrell with Netflix,
I knew
and
it.
doing
You're
all
the
those
Netflix
like
king, dog.
Squid Games and the zombie, all that stuff, man. That was a really really cool. But nah, I mean, you're right, Justin. To your point, commercials you know didn't really hit this year. There wasn't that huge commercial. But again, guys, the main point of yesterday was that it was just a great game. Great game to watch. A lot of action. I mean, he's 38-35, came down to the last seconds, field goal game. I mean, what more could you ask for except it being the Dallas Cowboys? That's it. But great game, great night. I'm sure everybody had fun. I know Justin threw down some barbecue. I had some chili and cheese
That chili
dogs and
looked
some
good, man.
cornbread at my house. What did you get into yesterday, Roland? Were you whipping it up in the kitchen or anything like that? What was on the menu for your Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, I just got some burger patties from HEB in the morning, from the meat market, and got like one of their brisket burger patties and made some burgers and
Okay.
some fries and some
Chef
wings
Roland.
there on the side. Yeah, just a simple little meal, but I made sure to eat good.
I like this. Ben touching on the not
The Jordan,
current,
the Nike Air
yeah,
with
not like
Phil
current
Knight.
affairs, but you know, trailer to Nike Air was the first time I had seen it. I had actually seen a mini trailer to it, but I hadn't seen the full one. That's going to be really cool for all the sneakerheads out there, and leave it to Ben Affleck, to go out and
Matt Damon too.
yeah, and to put out a movie like that. I can't wait to see that. Even being a LeBron guy, I can't wait to see it. But
So I've been looking into the credits of that movie, and I don't even know who's playing Jordan. I haven't seen anybody credited for it, so it might just be his parents coming out, not even Mike. I don't know what's up.
I think maybe he either wanted cash or they just really want to focus on the story itself, because there's a documentary on Nike, how it was going out of business and it couldn't compete with Adidas, and then basically the guy who created the shoe just saved the company. Like, Nike wouldn't be around today. So I think maybe that's what they're trying to push, is more like of a doc pick.
Oh, is this based on the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight? I'm thinking it's probably some sort of
Not
biopic
sure.
kind of off it, maybe.
Maybe
Kenny Vaccaro,
take that comment off. We're gonna get flagged.
legend.
All right, guys. We're going on an hour here, and it was really cool because it's just, again, this is a freestyle, man, and we started this yesterday for Super Bowl Sunday, but the last 5 minutes of the show, as we're going out, Super Bowl football, it's done, boys. So what are we going to get into now? Are we getting into XFL, USFL? What's going to
5
be the
days
next
away,
topic?
Ron.
I know Roland's a huge NBA guy. Roland's like the NBA guru here. Roland, are we going to get into more NBA on the show? What can the people in the comments look forward to now?
The arena football's coming back in 2023, so we got some arena football too. NBA definitely is going to be big here the next couple months. March Madness is coming up, so we're going to be big into college basketball as the tournament starts. And I think I heard you guys talking yesterday, pitchers and catchers report too. So we're going to get some baseball, and we've been pumping out those draft videos. So we're about to, get more into the NFL draft also. So the fun doesn't stop. It just sucks that there's no more football on Sundays.
Yeah, man. If you guys are watching us right now, follow us on social media. TikTok, Instagram. We're doing a contest right now. We did it the last 3 or 4 days. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. Are you guys ready for that? You got all the gifts picked out, boys? Are the flowers ready, or are you guys last minute guys? You're gonna get all that tomorrow.
I got everything. set.
Roland's like, shut up. She's watching. Now, all right. So we are doing a contest. We're going to pick the winner tonight or tomorrow for sure. It was a collaboration that we did with those chicas. You guys are watching us from Mission. You know who they are. Hopefully you entered, and hopefully we can hook you up. It's two $50 gift cards to get something for your wife, for your girlfriend, for the snack shop, for your mom, for your grandma, for your tia, whoever. It don't matter. We're going to do the winner soon. And other than that, we're going to do a lot more contests too. Go on our social media. We have videos with Warrior Wrestling Academy. Somebody else reached out to us from a Jiu-Jitsu Academy who here's local. We might be doing a video with them. So again, man, we appreciate all the love, the likes, the comments. It really means a lot because, yes, we do this for fun, but this is what we do, bro. Like, we just talk about sports and like our chat on the side all day, and we don't know everything. So when you guys come on, you guys, can give us some information too, and vice versa, storylines, headlines, whatever you think. Great show, boys. I don't know if we're done. We can keep going and we can call it a wrap. It really don't matter. We freestyling tonight.
I think the comments will come down. I think that's a wrap for us. I think we can call it here. I think it's a a fair spot to say that's enough for the night.
It's a school night.
Uh,
It's a school night.
Yeah,
It is a school night.
Yeah, it is a school night. And like Roland said, NFL's not done. Big board's coming up between me and him. We've done 2 videos out. We've given out who we think the 2 best quarterback prospects are, and 3 through 5 should be coming out throughout the week. So I'm kind of looking forward to that myself.
Should be interesting.
Hell yeah, man. Definitely. Well, Justin, take us out of here. Throw that little
All right.
video on and we
Here
out,
it
man.
is.
Appreciate everybody watching.